Well, you know it's a big story if we are live early here in LA on a Saturday morning. Are you kidding me? It is bad. It's as bad as it really can be for Disney and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disaster is the new title for this film officially. This thing's going to open at 55 to 60 million for the 3-day weekend. Now, we knew the film was in trouble. I mean, this isn't a surprise, but we thought that at least it could possibly get to 70 million. It's not going to happen. And here's how I know it's terrible. Okay, so I receive box office emails from all the studios. And typically, what Disney likes to do with the emails is, especially on a big film like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, they give you a full breakdown. They write some stuff up and they say, here's where it's performing well. Even if it's just on a Saturday morning, they give you more than what you're looking at here. This is all that we received this morning from Disney regarding this film. It is just a number. Okay, this is the email that came across my inbox late this morning because they know this film is going down and they know it is going down hard. 24 million on Friday. So let's talk about box office. Those of you new to the channel, since we're on here early, we're usually on late, hence the name, Midnight Movie Talk. We understand, and I'm explaining to you how we do the weekend multiples. We take the Friday number, and in this case, look again, it's 24 million. And then you factor in everything in play. You look at word of mouth, which instantly we're going to look directly at that cinema score. Cinema score is a B plus here. That's not great. Okay. You really don't want to see anything lower than an A minus on a 4-quad tentpole blockbuster like we're looking at here, because that is a mainstream audience film. You don't want anything polarizing on that. And B plus is not great. So that instantly factors that number, that multiple down, right? And just general buzz is down. People are hammering this film. So my number for the weekend is going to be about 56 million for the 3-day weekend. That will be an unmitigated disaster again for Disney. And you look back at their record of late in the films that have not worked in the box office. Start with Little Mermaid. Did much better stateside than international, but it still is going to lose them hundreds of millions of dollars. Elemental is another loser. Pixar brand, Disney umbrella. And then you go back to Strange World, bomb. Lightyear, bomb. They have had a string of films that have not fired at the box office, and it cost them hundreds of millions of dollars, well over $1 billion when you add them all up. And Indy is, yes, the icing on the cake to get that number past $1 billion in losses. This film has to do an insane overseas number to even be salvageable at some level. We're going to get those numbers tomorrow morning, but it's not going to be able to save this film. 55 to 60 million on a debut 3-day weekend for Indiana Jones is, again, as bad as it gets, considering, especially when you throw in the number, it's a $300 million movie. And there's a lot of discussion. I was reading Deadline this morning, and I really do value what they bring to the table. Deadline's the smartest of the trades. They are the most insider of the trades. We're talking about Variety, THR, Deadline, The Wrap. Deadline's the best, certainly at box office. Let me pull up this, and I'll just break down what is going on with the audience, the diagnostics for Dial of Destiny. So the post-track audience, which is basically like Cinema Score, just a different service, they have it at 79%. That's not great, okay? The leading guy, 25 plus ticket buyers at 43% are giving it 77% grade. That's not good. Overall men at 58% turnout are giving it a 74% grade. Again, not great. Why? Because Disney's done it again. Disney has taken the hero and turned it into a heroine. Again, it's happened, especially under Kathleen Kennedy's watch. Okay, here's what's interesting. Look, 10%, only 10% of the people came to see Phoebe Waller-Bridge. That is such a bad number for, the reason she was added was to bump up the box office. 10% of people came to see her. Okay? And they liked her as the female lead. 10%. That's terrible. Okay? Women over 25 at 35% give it an 86. The women like it more. What a surprise. The older Dial Destiny audience gets, the better the grades are, giving it 83%, and over 55 at 89%. Diversity demos, mostly white, blah, blah, blah. Here's, okay, so what I think is interesting about this article from Deadline, they're having a hard time figuring out why this film is bombing. Like, they can't put two and two together. What's the number one reason, guys, for why this film is going down and crash landing? We've talked about this for weeks on MMT. Nobody wanted the movie. Nobody asked for the movie. And Disney said, we're just going to make it and we're going to give it to Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And we have multiple videos. Go look on the page. How many times have we said it's not going to matter what Kathleen Kennedy wants to do with Indiana Jones going forward? This movie is going to bomb. And we called it again. Boom, give me a like. Not hard to figure this out. Nobody wanted to see it. Nobody asked for it. And then you turn the hero into the heroine, and it is a recipe for unmitigated disaster, and that's where we are this morning. It's over. The franchise is done. We called it months ago, and now today we have the proof of it. A few chats, and then we're going to roll out of here. It's going to be tight. I mean, we just got to everything. This is all you need. What we want to do when we break in with these things at ungodly early time for me, it's going to be huge. It's going to be a big story, but we want to get to it and cover it and give you everything you need. You don't need to watch anything else. This is everything. And yes, it is weird. It's weird for me here. LCR's got 8 p.m. wherever you are. That's what? That's further than Europe, because isn't it like 5 o'clock in England? You're way over there. Got to go party tonight. After this film's failure, along with Elemental, Little Mermaid, barely breaking even, Guardians 3 was a hit. Haunted Mansion, that looks bad, doesn't it? And then Marvel's is dead. Okay, Marvel's is DOA. It's not going to be indie DOA. I don't know if it's going to be that bad, but it is not going to be a success. They need to restructure everything at Disney. That's going to be the topic of our big discussion tomorrow night. Live MMT at 8 o'clock West Coast, 11 o'clock on the East. We will break down what Disney needs to do, because now there's no more debating the fact that Disney has to restructure much of how they do things, because audiences are telling them that this is not working. We are not happy with the direction you are taking our beloved franchises in. And as such, that means you need to, Bob Iger, go in there and start firing people and bringing in new, fresh faces with better ideas. That's the first thing that needs to happen. We'll discuss that more coming up tomorrow night. Iger he was brought back in because of the fact that it was already in trouble, and then this happens. It's since he stepped in, nothing has gotten better, and we know why, right? And I told you before, Kathleen Kennedy's untouchable. I don't know if she is after this. Before this, I said she's untouchable. After this, there has to be a discussion as to her future with Lucasfilm, because many of you would say that she has destroyed everything that Lucasfilm built, putting her hands on those properties and then turning them to ash. Okay, so at some point you have to look into getting her out of there. I put my estimated break even for Indy 5 at around 720 to 750. That's the number I had. I had it at 2.5 of the multiple. So they always talk about to be profitable, at least a 2x. So 300 times 2, 600. I think it's closer to 2.5. Some people might even say 3. So let's just be fair and split the difference and go 2.5. That's $750 million. This film is going to lose Disney hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll have a better idea tomorrow with the overseas numbers. But right now, there's not even any question whatsoever. This stream will hold for the next year as being accurate in saying that Disney is going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars on the dial of disaster. Ending to the film with the punch made it clear that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't understand proper character development and only wants to promote her agenda. Awful, awful film. I agree. You guys go back and watch my stream, my reaction stream from 3 weeks ago now, where I had lost my will to live after watching this film. And James Mangold, wow, his stock has gone down, hasn't it? I mean, you talk about a guy who is now almost trading in the penny stocks after this. You can't trust him with another franchise, another major film like this. No, you can't. Never. So as such, we'll talk about that again tomorrow night. That's a big picture thing. We want to do a tight stream and then get out of here on this Saturday morning. My local theater chain is offering half price popcorn with any Indy 5 purchase. I have never seen them do with a movie before. Quickly on that, and then this is a big topic for tomorrow. Theater owners were screwed hard by Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny because they were thinking that this film was going to be so big that they didn't need to have any major competition. That's why it opened this weekend by itself. And now you have Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disaster going through the 4th of July with no new competition, save Ruby Gillman, which, by the way, is far better than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disaster. Please go support that film. I really like it. I had so much fun with it. It's such a likable, energetic film. Ruby Gillman, Teenage Kraken. But the theater owners are effed, right? They totally are. Because look at it. That you've had Indy, you have Ruby Gillman that's only going to make like about $6 million over the 3-day. And then you have all the holdovers that everyone's already seen. Spider-Verse, Transformers, Guardians is still kicking around, Elemental. You have all these films that have been in the theaters for weeks now. So the theaters are going to pay a very heavy price for this film bombing because the business is not going to be there. If we had a theater owner in right now on the stream, they would tell us we were screwed by this film. We expected more and it's not delivering. And yes, it's going to flop. July 4th will help. We talked about that on the short video we posted yesterday. When you look at this film, as far as the scheduling, it has the 4th. So you have Monday and Tuesday as days that people are off. It's more like a Saturday, Sunday situation because the majority of people are taking Monday, Tuesday off for the 4th, right? 4th on Tuesday. So you have a 5-day weekend. But these early numbers don't suggest that people want to see the film. So even if you get a marginal bump on those days that are holidays, it's still not going to be anything significant enough to all of a sudden call this a hit. I mean, thank God it has those days, and the fact that it has nothing next weekend of significance in competition that would really go head to head with it. Insidious and Joyride, those are not big tentpole action films. The next one that's going to bury Indy is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. But that doesn't come out till the following Wednesday. So thank God Disney has that space to sort of make as much money as possible. So there's going to be no excuses for this film. If it tanks, there's no way to say, well, the date was bad, which is the number one thing. They didn't promote it, bullshit. Whatever the regular people come out and say, this is why, it's a bunch of garbage, whatever they spit. The reason this film is bombing, and then we're getting out of here because there's nothing more to say after this point. The reason the film is bombing is because nobody wanted to see another Indiana Jones with him 80 years old and Phoebe Waller-Bridge taking over the fedora and the whip. Nobody asked for that, and that is why this film is going to be forever known as the Dial of Disaster. Stream's over. I'll see you tomorrow night. Sunday night for the regular MMT. Good luck, Disney. You got to get your shit together, and it starts